Some trials are not about serving justice, but about silencing the innocent. Today, a man who proclaims his innocence will fight for the truth. But will the system allow him to win? A heavy silence fills the courtroom. Marcus Bryant sits at the defendant's table. A black man in his mid-30s. His face is filled with both fear and defiance. Judge Richard Calloway, a white man in his 60s, cold and authoritarian, presides over the courtroom. Prosecutor Thomas Reynolds, a white man in his 50s, stands confidently at the bench. Olivia Carter, a strong and determined black attorney in her 40s, sits beside Marcus, her sharp eyes scanning the room.
This court is now in session. Prosecutor, present your charges.
Your Honor, Marcus Bryant is a cold-blooded criminal. We have a police report placing him at the crime scene.
Your Honor, we have strong evidence proving my client was elsewhere at the time of the crime. Surveillance footage, witness testimonies.
Ms. Carter, this court deals in facts, not speculation. And as I see it, the prosecutor's report is more than convincing.
But Olivia knows this is not just any case, because in this courtroom, justice is not the priority. Power is. Marcus Bryant rising to his feet, voice shaking with anger.
I am innocent. They are lying.
Silence. One more outburst, and you will be removed from this courtroom.
But then, Olivia notices something. Judge Calloway isn't focusing on Marcus. He's looking at the police officers he's trying to protect. Sometimes fighting for justice isn't enough. First, you have to understand why it was erased in the first place. Outside the courtroom, Olivia Carter walks briskly, checking her phone as she heads toward the police station. She is tense, but composed. She knows that the most critical piece of evidence proving Marcus's innocence might have been destroyed. Police station. Olivia stands in front of a police officer's desk, demanding information.
I'm sorry, but those surveillance recordings have been deleted.
Deleted? How? That's impossible.
System failure, maybe. Technical errors happen sometimes.
But Olivia isn't buying it. She scans the room. Some officers avoid looking at her, while others exchange amused glances. Someone here knows that those records were erased on purpose.
Those tapes proved my client was somewhere else when the crime happened, and now just before trial, they magically disappear.
I'm just reporting the facts, Miss Carter. Maybe you could check another camera?
Listen to me. If I find out someone deleted those records on purpose, I will find out who, and that person will be answering to me in court. Do you understand?
We're doing everything we can, Miss Carter.
But Olivia knows this wasn't an accident. Someone erased those files deliberately, and she suspects Judge Calloway might be involved. Olivia walks out of the police station, pulling out her phone. She starts making calls, trying to track down alternative footage, hoping to find anything to support Marcus's defense. But every answer is the same. The recordings have been erased.
Who did this, and why?
Back in the courtroom, Marcus Bryant sits beside Olivia, his hands cuffed. He looks at her anxiously, trying to make sense of what's happening.
Olivia, they set me up. Can you get me out of this?
I promise you, Marcus. But first, I need to understand what we're really up against.
Judge Calloway watches from the bench, his cold eyes fixed on Olivia. It's almost as if he's waiting for her to make a mistake.
Ms. Carter, if your defense lacks solid evidence, you are going to lose this case.
But Olivia isn't backing down. That night, she makes a decision. If she can't find the missing evidence, she'll expose the judge himself. Late at night, Olivia sits in her office poring over stacks of old case files. Her desk is covered in documents. She's searching for something. A pattern.
Judge Calloway, you've done this before, haven't you?
And then Olivia discovers a horrifying truth about the judge's past. But how can she bring this to light in court? Sometimes, the past refuses to stay buried. And tonight, Olivia Carter is about to unearth a secret that was never meant to see the light of day. Olivia Carter's office. Midnight. The desk is covered in disorganized case files, an open laptop, and Olivia's tired eyes locked on the screen. As the early morning hours approach, she meticulously scans each document, looking for a pattern, a connection.
I knew it, but I never had proof. Until now.
The more Olivia studies Judge Calloway's past cases, the more she notices a disturbing pattern. Many of his verdicts have ended the exact same way. On the screen, stacked court records appear. As Olivia carefully reviews them, her eyes fixate on a specific file.
This man has been doing the same thing for years.
Black defendants, all found guilty under the pretense of insufficient evidence or lost records. Meanwhile, corrupt police officers walked free. And the worst part? A case where a police officer's murder was covered up. 15 years ago, a courtroom Judge Calloway sits at the bench, an imposing figure. A black defendant stands before him. The jury looks tense. The defense attorney pleads about missing evidence, but Calloway remains indifferent.
The defendant is found guilty of murder. Case closed.
Olivia's expression hardens. She understands what's happening now.
A police officer, protected, and that man is still on the force.
Judge Calloway has been playing the same dirty game for years, and now he's trying to do it again. Determined, Olivia picks up her phone and dials the number of an old contact, veteran journalist David Brooks. She anxiously taps her fingers as she waits. The phone rings before it clicks.
Olivia, do you know what time it is?
David, I'm about to send you something. I found something huge on Judge Calloway.
Calloway? Olivia, that man is untouchable.
No one is untouchable, David, and I'm going to prove it.
Olivia prepares to bring this evidence to court, but Judge Calloway won't go down without a fight. Courtroom morning. Olivia leaving her office. As she steps out, 2 police officers are waiting for her.
Ms. Carter, we need to speak with you.
About what?
We received a report. You've been accused of tampering with evidence.
Judge Calloway had made his first move. He was trying to silence Olivia by turning the law against her, but Olivia wasn't backing down.
That's funny, because I record all my conversations, and if someone is trying to frame me, I'll make sure they explain themselves in court. So tell me, officers, what's your next move?
The officers hesitate, realizing Olivia isn't scared. She knows the fight has just begun, but now she holds a weapon that could take the judge down for good. Sometimes, there comes a moment in court when the whole room holds its breath. Today, justice will be shaken in a way no one saw coming. Marcus Bryant sits quietly at the defendant's table. His lawyer, Olivia Carter, keeps her eyes locked on the jury and the judge. Today is Judgment Day, but the verdict will not be what anyone expects.
The court is now in session. Ms. Carter, you may begin your closing argument.
Your Honor, before I proceed with my closing statement, I have a new piece of evidence to present to the jury.
The courtroom murmurs with whispers. Olivia's voice cuts through the air. Judge Calloway narrows his eyes. For the first time, he looks uneasy.
This trial is about the defendant. If your so-called evidence does not directly exonerate your client, I will not allow this to continue.
If this so-called evidence doesn't prove your client's innocence, you're just wasting the court's time, Ms. Carter.
On the contrary, this evidence does not just prove my client's innocence. It exposes the corruption within this courtroom itself.
Olivia lifts the folder, showing it to the jury. But this is not just a document. This is a secret audio recording proving the judge's guilt. Olivia's office, the night before. Olivia is on the phone with investigative journalist David Brooks.
Olivia, I found someone who's willing to talk. A former court stenographer. But this is dangerous.
Who is it?
An old stenographer. Years ago, they noticed missing evidence, but there's more. Calloway was covering for a police officer.
And do we have proof?
I'm sending you an audio file. Be careful, Olivia. Calloway is dangerous.
Courtroom, present day. Olivia turns back to the courtroom and presses play. The room goes dead silent as a voice crackles through the speakers. Secret audio recording, slightly distorted but clear. Judge Calloway's voice is unmistakable.
Yock, forget this evidence. If it gets out, the police will be ruined. Do you understand me? We will look the other way.
Shockwaves rip through the courtroom. Jury members exchange stunned glances. The audience murmurs in disbelief. Judge Calloway's face turns pale.
This audio was obtained illegally. It cannot be admitted as evidence.
Your Honor, this recording proves you have manipulated justice for years, and not just in this case, but in dozens of others.
This can't be real. He was planning to convict me on purpose.
The courtroom's tension reaches its peak. Judge Calloway is visibly sweating. The jury begins whispering amongst themselves. Olivia's evidence doesn't just save Marcus. It could bring down an entire system of corruption.
This recording could be fabricated. How do we even know it's real? Someone could have manipulated the audio to frame Judge Calloway.
That's why I didn't come with just a recording. I also have official court records from previous cases that show a clear pattern. Evidence consistently lost, black defendants disproportionately convicted, and the same police officers being protected. The numbers don't lie, but Calloway does.
Chaos erupts in the courtroom. Jury members lean in, audience members whisper frantically. Judge Calloway's face turns red. Olivia has backed him into a corner.
This is absurd. I have always upheld the law.
Really? Then why did you knowingly convict innocent men? Why did you protect dirty cops? Why did you erase evidence?
Judge Calloway is speechless. His hands tremble. For the first time, he looks truly afraid. The jury looks at each other. Their decision is now clear. Marcus Bryant turns to Olivia, his voice barely above a whisper.
Did we actually do it?
The truth always wins in the end.
But this isn't over yet, because now, the verdict is coming. Sometimes the truth stays buried for years, but eventually, it rises. And today, the scales of justice finally tip back into balance. The entire courtroom is silent. Every eye is on Judge Calloway, a man once feared, now completely exposed. The jury members exchange shocked glances, while the audience whispers in disbelief. No one expected this trial to take such a dramatic turn.
This is a conspiracy. You can't do this to me. I've dedicated my life to this court. It's people like you who are destroying the legal system.
This can't be real. Judge Calloway, did you really...
But it's too late. The truth has broken through every lie, exposing the corruption that had controlled this courtroom for years. The man who abused his power is now powerless. The courtroom doors burst open as security officers step inside. Judge Calloway stiffens, but there is no fight left in him. For the first time, he doesn't look like a judge. He doesn't look powerful. He looks guilty.
Judge Richard Calloway, you are under arrest for judicial misconduct, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy to tamper with evidence.
This isn't over. You hear me? I'm not the only one. They're all guilty too.
This is a court of law, and for the first time in a long time, it's finally a court of justice.
And then, the gavel falls. Marcus Bryant is free. His nightmare is over. But for Judge Calloway, it's only just beginning. The man who once sat in judgment of others will now sit in the defendant's chair.
Did we really do it?
Justice always finds its way.
And today, justice has finally shown its true face.